Yes, my Between the Liners, welcome back to the latest episode of the Big Six Breakdown. As you can see, I've got some special guests with me today. For the first time ever on the channel, we've got a Liverpool fan. Before I introduce him, he's my rival. Before I introduce him, I'm going to introduce a regular. It's the Arsenal fan. You already know, the first ball-playing goalkeeper ever in history. Tunjay, what are you saying, Tunjay?
Yo, glad to be here again.
Yes, Tunjay, top of the league, Tunjay. That's what they're calling him. To my right, the first Liverpool fan on the channel, the best left back I've ever played with in football history. And that's a big acclaim, yeah? Big. Oh, no disrespect to Dom as well, by the way. Dom's the best right-footed left back I've ever played with. This is the best just the best left back I've ever played with. Mark, good to have you on the channel. It's been a long time coming. What are you saying, Mark?
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Honoured to have you on the channel, Mark. Honoured to have you on the channel. Unbelievable left back. Anyway, let's crack on with the show. Usually, as you know, if you don't know already, go check out the other Big Six breakdowns. Usually we talk about the team that's bottom of or lowest in the league out of the top 6 teams. This week, ironically, we're going to speak about Chelsea first. It's ironic because they're actually first of the bottom half of the table. Chelsea, 11th in the league, is unbelievable, to be honest. They lost 2-0 to Aston Villa at the Bridge. I think it was the first time Villa have beat them at the Bridge in 19 games. Lads, let's come to Mark first. What are you saying about Chelsea's demise this season? Enjoying it?
Chelsea are an absolute mess. Chelsea are an absolute mess.
You enjoying it, yeah?
I am enjoying it.
I'm loving it, mate.
But I'm not really in a position to say too much about other football clubs at the minute. But
you're doing better than Chelsea, at least.
a tad.
Yeah. Did you watch the game?
I didn't see the game.
Yeah.
I did see the highlights.
Yeah.
I think they've obviously invested heavily. They've bought lots and lots of youngsters. And as it stands, the chemistry is just not where it needs to be. Losing 2-0, they were at home as well, weren't they?
At home, bro.
They lost
At the
2-0 to
Bridge.
Villa. Didn't score a goal. Times are hard. Times are
very hard as a Chelsea fan. You lot Chelsea fans, you're lucky I ain't got none of you on this channel because I keep messaging Chelsea fans and none of them are coming. They keep bottling.
There's a reason why.
There's a reason why. That's why Mark didn't come for so long. All right, Tunjay, what do you think? Did you watch the game?
I watched a bit of it.
Yeah, I watched bits of the game as well. Yeah. They did create a few chances, didn't it?
Ollie Watkins were a good finish, obviously, and McGinn's goals quality as well.
I missed McGinn's goal actually.
Yeah, quality goal. But yeah, I think Chelsea, they've bought too many players in a short space of time. They're trying to just go up as quick as possible, but it doesn't quite work like that.
I think last time I asked you, you said stick with Potter, give him to the rest of the season, and I feel like that's what Bowley wants to do because he's already played his cards. He doesn't want to make out to be that he's made the wrong decision.
6-7 year contract, so obviously if they sack him, they have to pay a lot. So.
And also because their FFP is already messed up because they've done so many 8-year contracts already. They spent so much this year already. I feel like anything they add on now is going to harm their summer with how many signings they can make.
Yeah. They have to stick with Potter. Anyway, I think they should stick with Potter anyway. So Chelsea are in a rebuilding phase. So for that rebuilding phase to work, for Chelsea to be top and consistent and sustainable as well, Potter needs time. That team needs time. They just shouldn't make any more signs than they have now. Maybe they need a striker, a number 9. Other than that,
they still need more players.
Just a one number 9, like one really good number 9.
They got Nkunku coming, no? Like the false 9.
Oh, is he? I don't know. He's a false 9. It's not. I wouldn't say he's a number 9. But I don't know. It depends how Potter wants to play. I don't know. It's too many ifs and buts. But I think they're lacking goals at the moment. That's why they're struggling.
Definitely, yeah, and they had 26 shots. They had 8 on target. Probably should have scored a few. Mudryk should have scored. Mark, what's your thoughts on Potter? Give him more time, or
I would have potentially given him more time.
But are we saying that because we're not Chelsea fans?
Potentially.
And because Graham Potter's a nice guy, he's a good coach.
And we also see the job that he did at Brighton.
Yeah,
he did a fantastic job at Brighton. Seems like an honourable man. And if you had that time to give the opportunity to players to gel, that might have made a difference with a season or two.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, football's a results business, and when results are not going your way, people are ready to get rid.
100%. And
of
also,
managers.
has he been thrown under the bus slightly by being given all these players? Obviously, you can say, look, you've spent a lot at the same time. You've been given world class players. You should be doing better. But at the same time, maybe he didn't ask for that.
Yeah, he did. I'm sure it wasn't his sign. It was Bowley just. They quote him playing Football Manager, just sort of getting a lot of players in. That's probably that's just what happened. So
the thing is, you can have so many world class players, but until you know the system that you want to play with those players, it doesn't work.
So I think on this table, we're probably agreed that he should be given at least next season, right? Just to see what he can do with a bit more of a gelled squad, bit more stability. And I think you said a good point, long-term wise and sustainability wise, the idea to go with a Graham Potter and stay with him for a long term is probably the right idea. Like United are trying with Ten Hag, like Arsenal trying with Arteta.
Yeah.
It's about the long-term thing, especially for like a big club. This sacking manager year in, year out, I don't think that's going to work long-term. Yeah. But then I say that, and then it kind of worked for Abramovich. Year in, year out, they sack a manager, and they did win. They won the most trophies.
I think they were lucky.
I
think they got away with it. They got lucky.
You know?
I don't think it was smart at all. They just got lucky, I think.
But so many trophies. They've won more trophies than any other team in the last 15 years, I think, or last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they brought in managers that are quality managers. They didn't bring in I mean, they had Di Matteo and he won the Champions League. I guess.
Apparently, you won FA Cup as well.
But I kind of think it's not always the managers, it's the players that you have in disposal. Like
from the players.
John Terry, Drogba. Who else?
Tuchel won a Champions League as well, though. It's weird, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tuchel's a good manager, so that's a bit different. I'd say he's a quality manager.
Yeah.
But even if Potter goes, I don't know who they'd bring in. To be honest with you, I don't know who. I don't know.
Luis Enrique.
Luis
Enrique.
I don't think it'd do it. I don't think it would work.
Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not so sure. But there's another thing though. They are 11th, but they're still only 5 points off 6th. You know, behind Brighton. But they've played 2 more games than Brighton. But Brentford are also in 7th. They've played the same amount of games. They're only 5 points behind 7th. Let's say. So it's not that bad. They could get Europa Conference League position.
Yeah.
And they probably don't even want that, to be honest. You probably want to come in next season and start from scratch, innit? No European competition.
I prefer that as a football fan,
at this point. Yeah. So, but maybe Chelsea fans right now probably want him out. Maybe. You think?
I think they're used to that impatient side and used to that, changing managers will bring you quick success or whatever. But so they're probably they're thinking, we need to get another manager in just so we can just have a bounce back. But I don't think it'll work like that nowadays with Chelsea. Yeah. I think that's
a different era now,
different era.
And the thing is, you might get that initial response from the players. You might win a couple of games, but long term, is it helpful? He's trying to build a project.
100%.
Given the time that he needs, and if it fails, come the end of next season or the start of next season, whenever
get rid of him. Then there's a failed project.
That's it. There you go.
All right. From an outside Chelsea point of view, I hope he fails. But as a fan of football, obviously want Graham Potter to do well. Let's take it on to the next team, and this is going to be a good conversation for me. Liverpool in 8th position. 8th from the quadruple. And you know what? Let me keep it neutral. I was about to go mad. Right? I'm going to try to keep it neutral because I'm the host on this channel. Every week I go at Liverpool. I got a Liverpool fan with me today. I'm going to try to keep it a bit respectful. Man City 4-1 v Liverpool at the Etihad. Mark, let's come to you first. What did you think of the game?
So, didn't get the opportunity to watch the game, watch the highlights.
You didn't watch it?
Didn't watch it, no. I was out busy.
Fairs.
True Liverpool fan. Watched it yesterday evening, watched the highlights.
Yeah.
And I just think our squad, honestly, I think they're exhausted from last season. I think going toe-to-toe in every competition.
Yeah. To the last day.
That's it. And several of those games, people forget, several of those games went into
extra time,
and you've got penalty shootouts, psychologically, physically.
It's draining.
Absolutely draining. Absolutely draining. I think players are physically worn out. Players are also aged. Our midfield, as people have been saying consistently, our midfield needs to change. We need to add depth. We need to add some youth. We need to add players that are not so injury prone. We've got too many players that at the moment are deadwood. They're being carried. I say being carried. We're not really carrying anyone at the moment, but they're in the team. They're in the squads, not necessarily playing, but not bringing anything to the table, which is obviously a massive, massive problem. I watched the game yesterday, saw the highlights, and we just seemed off it. We just seemed off it when the ball was going into Stones, who was playing sort of right back / CDM role.
Pivot kind of.
Henderson didn't know whether to press. He didn't know whether to monitor those players behind him. He was stuck in no man's land. So when that ball was played, you know, those Manchester City players found themselves in lots and lots of room and space to make decisions, and they cut through us.
Before the game, what was your thoughts? Maybe confident.
I know. I sent you a confident message,
but excluding that,
I'm
not bringing it up. I'm not bringing up what he said, but it's not what he's saying now. But no, what do you think?
If I'm being honest, I didn't think we'd win the game.
Yeah.
As a Liverpool fan, I'd like to say that we'd go there and win, but with the way that our away form is at the moment, to go there and win, I think would have been a big ask. Maybe a draw. But also with it being a midday kickoff, we know at the moment that's not a strong point for Liverpool at the moment. So again, in terms of the psychology and going away to the Etihad and Manchester City being in the position that they're in, I think they were always going to win the game, if I'm honest. Yeah,
they've now won 7 games in a row. I think they've scored 16 goals in the last 3 games, something ridiculous like that. And Haaland wasn't even playing. And Alvarez looks like a baller. Tunde, did you watch the game?
I didn't know.
I actually watched the game, and I don't say this lightly. I thought that was the best City performance I've seen in a long time. Like, not even taking anything away from Liverpool. Like, you weren't that great, but City were actually unbelievable.
They looked good. They looked good.
I don't think you deserved the goal. I think it was against a runner play, but you got the goal. Great goal, to be fair, from Salah. Great play from Jota as well. But after that, even before that, the amount of times they were carving Liverpool through, I don't think any team on that day would have stopped City at that point. I don't say that I don't want to say that about City, but they were genuinely unbelievable. I thought Gundogan as well, no one's really talking about it. I thought he dictated the whole game. The amount of times he found space in tight areas in and around Liverpool's box was a joke. I don't really see many players in any team even being able to find that amount of space and time to be able to tick it over from that tight space. The amount of times he found possession, found his attacker, and Grealish, probably the best game I've seen him play for City. So dangerous. Alvarez, just another. When Alvarez plays, I think he adds kind of another man in their midfield. Makes it even harder for Liverpool.
He was dropping in deep, and that's where our midfielders were lost. They didn't know whether to sit back and mark those players that were dropping in, or whether to drop in and try and deal with Stones when he was picking the ball up in a sort of deep midfield position.
Bro, and I'm not the biggest fan of Stones. I think he's obviously a good centre-back, but the way he was playing yesterday in that inverted fullbacks, CDM, right-back role, like, he was different class. He was so composed. I was shocked, to be honest. And Mark, I was going to ask you something, actually. Like, what's happened with Fabinho? I don't get it. Like, he looks like he's fallen off a cliff, bro. He's only 29. He's moving like he's 70.
I wish I had the answer to the question. It sounds like a lousy excuse, but I just think genuinely the players are psychologically and physically spent.
But Fabinho was like a seasoned pro, bro.
He was, honestly, at one point, he was my favourite player. I absolutely loved him. Yeah. He was amazing defensively. He'd break everything up. He'd distribute the ball. He'd win things in the air. He'd step up with the occasional beautiful goal from outside the box. Yeah. And this year he's gone missing. But as many of the players have. Van Dijk's gone missing. Trent's gone missing.
I feel like Van Dijk, this aura thing's kind of pissing me off now, you know, because you can't expect people to just back off you all the time. Do something. Try put a challenge in. Yeah. Like, he's just he's sitting off people too much now. Yeah.
Well, at one point yesterday, he was chasing his tail.
Yeah, literally. All right, let's talk about Henderson, Mark, because I've got an agenda against Henderson. I don't know about Tunde, but I've never been the biggest fan of Henderson.
I think every football club can benefit from having a player like Henderson in their team, not necessarily because of his attributes as a player.
Yeah. Team player.
Team spirit.
But, you know, he works hard, he's disciplined, he's an absolute role model, he's a professional. You know, and I'm really satisfied with what he's done for the club in recent years. But, you know, if we're going to be a world-class unit, then perhaps at present he wouldn't be a player that would feature in the team, potentially come on for a last sort of 15, 20-minute stint to stiffen things up if we're playing a game that's maybe a 2-1 or a 1-0 in our favour, just to sort of, you know, tighten the shackles, if you like. But
bro, the fact that you've got Milner still coming onto the pitch is a joke. Like, and I think Milner's a world-class pro. Like, unbelievable professional, over the last 20 years.
That's probably why he's still there, because...
But you're bringing him on against Man City. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, they've lost the game, so he's like, he might as well just throw him in. Like.
And in the last game against Man City, he started, though, at right back, ahead of Trent.
But this is the issue. We haven't got the depth. We haven't got the depth. Trent looks.
Do you blame Klopp for that? I know FSG have kind of held.
They've
been a bit tight.
They've tightened the shackles. They've not wanted to spend as much money as other football clubs, which is a good thing. I don't want to be a club that
just splashes
throws
out,
money at absolutely everything. I think in
Mark's taking digs at me.
It's not. That's not the answer that I agree with.
I think in previous years we've spent well. We've signed the right players. You know, we spent a lot of money on Virgil, but we needed Virgil at the time. We spent a lot of money on Alisson, but we really needed him at the time.
No, they were signings that you had to make.
They've made massive differences to the team.
Definitely.
And we've reached a stage where, you know, last season you could argue that we were one of the best teams in the world, and it's gone completely opposite end of the spectrum.
And at the same time, it's not all that bad though, because you're 7 points behind Spurs for the top 4 race, but you've got a game in hand. It's not that
in
bad.
Me says we'll finish top 4, but I'm not. I'm not entirely confident with the away form.
Yeah,
you know, we can bank on winning games at Anfield, but if Tottenham win, you know, some of their games, then we're in a position. You know, we need to be flawless now.
And also Newcastle probably a big threat for you at the moment. By the way, I forgot to mention, we're watching Man United Newcastle, so we're going to come to the United game at the end. It's currently half-time, it's 0-0. Sorry, Mark, yeah. And also Newcastle a threat to your top 4 position. So, also, I was going to say to you about the spending, yes, you kind of, FSG aren't really spending as much now, but at the same time, you spent, I think, 80 million on Nunes, maybe 35 on Gakpo. Yeah. Why didn't Klopp spend money on the midfield at that point, where you probably needed a midfielder more than a striker? I know you had the Diaz injury.
Well, the money should have gone in that direction, but this is the unfortunate thing. You know, Diaz came in, and a lot of people speak about Mane, and Mane was a big loss. But at the same time, I don't think if Mane's in our current team, he changes your fortunes. Because we are spent all over the pitch.
Overall, the team is spent. Yeah.
Gakpo's looked good at times. Nunez will come good.
I think Nunez will come good, man. I think he'll come good.
He'll be worth the money.
Yeah. I've not bantered him ever, you know. I think he'll come good.
His physical ability is insane.
He's
probably one of the fastest players in the Premiership. Is he 22?
I think so. 22, 21, 22, I think. 22, 23.
He will be a star of the future.
I think he'll be a top player.
But the issue is you've got him. He's come into a struggling team. We've not freshened up the midfield. We've been unfortunate with injuries to Jota, to Diaz, who was looking like a bright spark.
100%. He looked dangerous.
When he arrived, he looked fantastic.
He was dangerous, bro.
He was our best player. And he typically was out for a significant period of time, was on the verge of coming back, never did. And it's just been like that for Liverpool.
So I've got a question for you, Mark. Is it the end of Klopp's reign or still more to come?
No, I'm seeing Klopp.
But what is it? Another rebuild, and then you go again and you try to get back to the top, and your top was kind of short-lived at the same time, obviously because of Man City.
It was, yeah.
Like, because of the beast that Man City is. I don't blame you, obviously. But what more can Klopp do to this team? And how long does this new rebuild take? Or are you just couple steps away?
I think, firstly, I'm not sure of the system that we're playing at the minute. I'm not sure. You know, in previous years, we've looked to press, and yesterday at times we looked to press, but we were miles off it. So I think, one, we need to sort out the system, and perhaps he needs time with some of the new players that have come in.
I think he's a bit stubborn as well, because this whole season, you've been playing the same system every game almost, whatever it is, even away from home. But if you're noticing that your team's not performing well, or they're not capable of playing that system anymore, change it, bro. Yeah. Change it. Be a manager that you are. You're getting the money that you are. Obviously, he's got a lot of credit in the bank with Liverpool fans. But change it. You're meant to be this world-class. Obviously, he is a world-class manager. Do something to change the fortunes of your team. And he's not really doing that. It's like a stubbornness, but kind of, I guess the top managers have that, though.
I mean, it's an interesting one as well, because I've always said it. Even when we were at the top of our game, because of the way that we played, we would always concede lots and lots of chances. Yeah. And we just... You know, I can think of countless games where we were just incredibly lucky that we didn't concede. I went up to Anfield to watch the game against Palace when we won 3-0. Another day, without Alisson in goal, we could have been 2-3-0 down. And we won that game, and it just seems like the chances teams are getting now, they're taking. But on top of that, they're also getting more chances. We're not as creative as we were. Salah's not playing to the level that he was.
Firmino's getting a bit older.
Yeah, he's a bit older. He's
playing
obviously
as
had
much.
injury problems this year as well.
Where's Thiago, by the way? I've not seen him.
I don't
in a
know.
while.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know he had an injury.
Thiago's not the signing we thought he might have been.
He when he plays and he's fit enough to do so, he's absolutely world class.
You think?
Yeah, he's in games that I've watched, he's absolutely world class. Not so much this season. Last season, he had some unbelievable moments.
But don't you think there's always still some more that he's not producing? That he's got another level that he hasn't shown for Liverpool yet? No. Maybe you think differently.
Maybe he's playing within himself because of the injury problems.
Possibly, yeah. True. All right, Tunjay, I was going to say, is it the end of Klopp's time, or obviously from an Arsenal fan, what do you think?
Not really. I think obviously he'll stay. He signed a new contract anyway, so he's there for a couple more seasons. But
do you think he's got another gear left in him to take this Liverpool team back to the top?
I think he needs a time to rebuild. If he rebuilds and obviously it's not working out, then his time's obviously up. But yeah, he needs that time. See what he can do really. But I feel like Liverpool I think the issue at the moment is they're not playing as a team, and I think Liverpool are at their best when they play as a team. That's what you mentioned, Fabinho. I think he plays well if the team plays well, and it's the same with like Henderson. It's the same with Van Dijk. Same with Salah up top. So I feel like because the team's not performing well, the cohesion's not there, the chemistry's not there. I feel like that's where their issues are.
Is that a mentality thing?
I think like as
players aren't strong enough.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when we played against you, there were
why are you bringing this up? We don't talk about that on this channel, Mark. Yeah,
well, like 7-0,
3-0. It's 3-0.
There were glimpses that we were back to our old ways.
Yeah,
no United player could get the ball off Salah. Gakpo steps up and scores 2 unbelievable goals. You know, we were absolutely incredible on that day. We were good in possession. We created that, well, particularly in the second half. First half, it was a relatively balanced game. Perhaps we edged it. But we showed the positive signs that we still have that ability to do good things. And
I guess it kind of brings it back to the mentality thing, because you were able to build yourself up for the United game because it's the biggest rivalry, etc., etc. But then when it comes to the other teams, the next week you lost to Bournemouth.
Yep.
The occasion, the players rise to the occasion.
And I watched that game, and we were really, really poor.
Yeah, I watched that game.
We were really poor. I mean, we had the penalty. If Salah scores that penalty, we might go on to win the game, but it wasn't necessarily deserved.
That's why I question the Liverpool players' mentality, man.
I feel like the established players, they become confident. So because they become confident,
complacency.
It's like, complacency creeps in. Yeah. And when a big game comes, then
they rise up to it.
They rise up to it. Not against City, they didn't rise up to it, obviously, but when it comes to like Man United, for example, they were like their old selves. I think Trent, as a good example, I think he's become very complacent.
Yeah.
I feel like he's scared of defending now. That's sort of the player he's become. But going forward, he's still great, but I feel like he's become an easy target against teams now.
Definitely, bro. Everyone's
attacking Dan Issa because they know that's a weak link for Liverpool. So.
And then because Henderson's kind of off the mark now, even he can't recover to cover Trent as much anymore, or whoever, Fabinho can't get across quick enough to help out with Trent, then he's more exposed. I think like Grealish tore Trent apart yesterday. I felt sorry for him.
He did.
Like he needed help.
And even in his recovery runs, he doesn't seem motivated to try and get back and put a tackle in or tug a shirt. He's just not.
But bro, if he's in your team and you're playing with Trent, surely you're screaming at him.
I would be, yeah, absolutely.
So what's going wrong? No one's screaming at him.
I mean, people have said for a long time that Klopp's giving him the reign to sort of do as he please.
Why though?
By going forwards and not having to work and operate back. I don't know how true that is, but it's being reflected in his performance. There's not a willingness to get back. Is that tiredness? Is that a fact that Klopp has said, don't get back? I don't know. But a traditional right back is
do your job
to
defend foremost, and then of course you support attacks as and when you can.
I feel like Klopp, a bit like Arsenal actually. I think he's a bit too nice at times with his players. Probably got a lot of favourites. Because you've got a lot of favourites and you're relying on them to do a job, and they aren't necessarily doing the job, you won't necessarily change them.
Yeah, true.
So if there isn't that sort of culture where if you're being inconsistent, you'll be dropped and someone else will come and play in your place.
You're going to get complacent.
That's where they have a problem, right? Who do you bring in for Trent? Milner.
Klopp should be working on that previously beforehand and had a ready-made backup before. Like you had Nico Williams, you got rid of him.
Yeah.
And he's starting week in, week out in the Prem.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's Liverpool quality, but you had someone there that potentially could have pushed Trent for when he wasn't performing.
And then actually giving Trent that opportunity to
rest as well.
Rest for a month or so.
Yeah, definitely.
Could actually be the making of him again.
Mark, we could talk about Liverpool's downfall all day, but I'm going to have to move it on, unfortunately. We're going to have to move it on. Let's take it on to the next team. Spurs, who are currently, where are they in the league right now? They're 4th in the league somehow. I don't even know how they're 4th. They've been playing so shit this season. The Spurs fan, Cher, bottled it today. He's claiming he's going out. We all know he doesn't want to talk about Spurs because they're shit right now. Let's be real. We're going to talk about Spurs on behalf of Cher and Shahan. They've got Everton. They haven't played this week, and they've got Everton at Goodison Park on Monday. It's at 8 p.m. And it's against Sean Dyche, Everton at home. It's going to be a tough game. There's every week that goes past now, there's new Spurs news. This week was Paratici's now been banned from all football activities worldwide, not just Italy. They've got no head of director now. They've got no manager. They've got no women's team manager. The chairman, Daniel Levy's out in Asia doing business trips. What business? I swear your business is Tottenham Hotspur, huh? Like, what's my man doing?
He's clearly given up.
Some sort of marketing deal. Probably pre-season friendlies are coming up in Asia.
100%. Something marketing related for Spurs. Who knows? But they got Stellini in charge. Stellini's actually got a better record than Conte this season as a manager. You know when Conte was ill? I swear he's unbeaten, yeah. He's got, I think he's got 4 wins. Not better record.
Oh, yeah. Well,
percentage-wise.
Yeah, okay.
Win percentage-wise, he's got a better record than Conte this season. What we saying for the Spurs game via Everton against Sean Dyche at Goodison Park?
Tottenham away or at home?
Tottenham away. Goodison Park, yeah.
I'd expect
it's a tough one, isn't it?
I'd expect Tottenham to win, but at the same time, you know, Tottenham are Spursy, aren't they?
Very Spursy.
Everton win.
They have their moments.
Everton have won just one of their last 20 games against Tottenham, drawing 9 and losing 10. Spurs are actually unbeaten in their last 9 visits to Goodison Park. 3 wins and 6 draws. Lads, you know what that means. They're losing.
Yeah, Everton
they're unbeaten in the last 9.
I think Everton will win.
At Goodison Park, they're losing.
Times are going to change.
If ever, it's now. No manager. Spurs on the downfall. They got low on confidence as well. Or potentially released from the shackles of Conte, go on and win. But I don't know, Sean Dyche, I don't think it's a banker for Tottenham. I think it's a very good chance Everton win this game. I was going to say to you, Mark, I've not heard your thoughts on it. I've heard Tunje's. Me and Tunje are on the thoughts that Harry Kane should leave. Obviously, go out there, get a trophy. You've done all your stuff for Tottenham. You've paid your dues. Mark, Harry Kane, stay at Tottenham or leave?
I'd agree with leave. Yeah. Like, I respect the loyalty to one football club.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, every football fan wants a player that wants to play
for their team,
long term.
Yeah.
But how can a player like Harry Kane finish his career?
It's a disgrace.
Without some of the best trophies in football.
The fact that he's been there for this long is too long.
It's insane. How long's it been? How long's it been?
He's 29 now, so he's been there. Well, he's actually been there since what, 12?
Yeah, to be fair, it's his fault and his agent's fault.
Yeah, definitely.
For being there for too long, but yeah, he has been there for too long.
Yeah. He deserves a trophy at least somewhere. Bro, give him a League Cup at least.
And
EFL Cup, bro. Give it to him.
The other thing is as well, I mean, if he played for a better club, think about some of the records and achievements that he might actually...
1000%. He'd be killing it. The amount of goals he's scoring for a shit Spurs side. In the last 10 years, they're not even been that great. They're challenging for top 4 at best. Maybe challenge for a league title once against Leicester. But other than that, it's a disgrace. He could have been scoring so many goals and getting so many trophies and accomplishments at a bigger team. It's a shame that you stayed there, Harry, man. You should have left a long time ago. Mark, what team do you think Harry should go to? Harry, because we're on a first name basis, me and Tunje.
Yeah.
Me and Tunje went to school with him, you know? You know, right?
Pardon?
Me and Tunje went to school with him.
What do you got? Chingford Foundation?
Yeah.
It was the same year.
I think I played against Harry as well.
No way.
I think I played against him, when he was at Leighton Orient.
Yeah, me and Tunje taught him everything he knows. I was defending him.
A lot.
I was defending him, so Harry was learning how to beat the best centre-back. Tunje was in goal. How the fuck are you going to score against Tunje? You got to learn how to plant it in as much in the corner as you can. Side netting every time. That's where you learn from. Shout out Harry. Still waiting for payment or something? I don't know, man. Give us a shout out or something, mate.
Please, Harry, please.
Yeah, what team do you think he's going? It's got to be United, isn't it?
I don't want it to be United.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be United.
I understand.
But it should be.
There's no other option, right?
It should be.
There's no other option, really.
I would have taken him at Liverpool a season or two ago. Obviously, now that we've got Nunez, there's not much room for him. Plus, we've got Jota. And
he's not really a Liverpool player, is he? Not in your system,
not.
maybe. Yeah.
But this is the thing. At the moment, we don't really know what style.
Maybe this is the time to change that system.
Yeah. Because Nunez is, he's a different player to what we've had in the past. He's more direct, isn't he? He's more direct and poses an aerial threat, which we've not necessarily had in recent years.
I was going to say to you, Mark, actually, just now, speaking on systems and Liverpool, I was going to say, if Kane comes United, there's one thing why I wouldn't necessarily want him to come United from a biased point of view of knowing Harry Kane or going to school with him at least. Coming to United doesn't guarantee you trophies right now. And does Liverpool guarantee or more likely to give you a trophy than United right now? And obviously, I know we've just won EFA Cup.
No, I don't think so. But I
think United are more likely to win a trophy at the moment than Liverpool.
That's a tough question.
Yeah,
I don't think Liverpool or United at the moment are in a position
I agree
to win a trophy. But sign a player like Harry Kane, does he then boost every other player by 10%?
Yes.
That's
a good show.
Can change things.
Definitely.
You've seen the introduction of Trossard at Arsenal, the difference that he's made there. I mean, Arsenal were obviously playing at a high level anyway, but just the introduction of Trossard, how many assists he got? 6?
He's got
7?
6, 7, yeah.
Since he's come to Arsenal, right?
Yeah, and he arrived in January.
No, so in total with Brighton as well at the time.
I think he's more,
So he had 3 assists in one game. He might have had like 5 assists already so far.
For Arsenal?
For Arsenal, yeah. Something like that.
And he's playing well.
He's playing well,
He's playing well, yeah. Quality signing. All right, we'll move it away from Spurs. We were going to come to Man United, but they're currently playing now, so we're going to save that for last. We're going to take it onto the title race. Arsenal and City. Arsenal picked up another win yesterday. Was it 4-1 v Leeds?
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1 versus Leeds. I was actually watching the game, but I'm going to come to Tunjay first. Was he there?
I was there, yeah.
Tunjay was at the Emirates. Arsenal season ticket holder. Tunjay, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, good game. Fairly comfortable. No stress, really. I didn't feel scared or anxious. I felt comfortable before the game, to be honest with you, based on how we've been playing. Then yeah, it was an easy result in the end. Can
I dispute that a little, Tunjay? First half, you was a bit cagey, you know. I thought Leeds created a few decent chances.
I was going to say the same thing.
No,
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I see the highlights.
I was watching the game. I thought Leeds
looked good first half.
They created quite a few decent chances, you know?
First half we were a bit sloppy, but I thought even if Leeds score, I felt like we would come back and win.
New, arrogant Tunjay over here.
But that's how we've been playing. That's how we've been playing, though. But every time Arsenal concede, or if they concede first, we always come back reactively with a goal. We've always been good at that. So in a way, I felt a bit comfortable, even if we were a goal down. But to be honest, I've never felt scared. And in second half, we just blew them off. So
like Tunjay, I want to hear you say this direct on camera.
All right, directly on
You've been a bit shy before.
No, I said
You've been a bit cagey.
Last time.
Did you?
But,
was it loud enough though? Tunjay, are you going to win the title?
Yes. Directly, yes. We are going to win it.
You heard it there,
we
people.
Are win it.
Get in the comments and come back to this in 2 months' time when they don't win the title. Hopefully. No,
I believe we'll win the title, yes.
I love it, Tunjay. I love the confidence. All right, Tunjay, you got Liverpool at Anfield next.
Yes.
Newcastle just scored. We're going to pause for a sec. Yes, people, we just paused. Newcastle obviously scored that goal. We're going to come to the Newcastle United game. As you can see, my mood's changed. We're going to talk about the Arsenal game. Mark, what's your thoughts on Arsenal and their league title challenge, league title charge?
I think they can win it? Yeah? I think they'll do it, yeah. I think they've been very impressive throughout the year. They have been. They've almost been perfect. And I obviously saw the highlights of the Leeds and Arsenal game yesterday, and I actually thought Leeds were quite impressive for the first half. But the fact that Arsenal just dug in, Ramsdale made a couple of saves, and they end up winning the game 4-1. Just sort of suggests the level that they're playing at currently. They're doing incredibly well.
Putting teams aside with ease at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the additional signings as well. You know, Trossard, who I mentioned earlier, has been a godsend with a few assists in a really short space of time. I think they'll do it.
Who else did they sign in January, actually?
Jorginho.
Oh, yeah, Jorginho. Yeah. Hasn't been played much.
But he's been good as well when he's played.
It's positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Mark. So, yeah, you think Arsenal win the title?
I think they'll do it. I'm rooting for them as well. I'm sick of seeing Manchester City at the top. Yeah,
so I hear that. Same as well.
Arsenal's do it.
Fair enough. All right, just quickly before we go into United, quick score prediction for Spurs v Everton. Tunjay?
Spurs v Everton. So Everton at home, aren't they? So I'll probably say 1-0 Everton.
I'm going to say 1-1, I reckon. Mark?
I'm going 1-1.
Yeah, Fez. I wouldn't mind if Spurs lost. Laugh at Shahan and shit. Make my weekend a bit better. Because we're going to take it on to United now. Man United have just lost. We've just seen it here. Man United have just lost 2-0 to Newcastle at St. James Park. Wilson scored. Willock scored. I swear these guys at Willock and Longstaff only score against United. I don't know what's going on. Boys, I'll come to either of you first. What do you think about the performance? Either of you? Let me take it. Right, let me say it first. Let me say it first. Yeah, Newcastle probably deserved the win. Not probably, they deserved the win. Maybe could have won it 3-0. I don't remember seeing a single United chance or clear-cut chance at all. Newcastle had at least 4 or 5. De Gea's made a few good saves. Maybe should have claimed a few more crosses and he wouldn't have had to make the save. Gave the ball away a bit. I'm going to go on a De Gea round. All right. Deserved to lose the game, United. Newcastle are a serious threat to anyone that's challenging for the top 4 and potentially the title in the future. I'd like to say excuse for United. I know we've just had a 2-week break, but we've played more games than any other team in Europe this season. We're still in 2 more quarterfinals and a semi-final to go. We've obviously got the League Cup in the bag. Let Newcastle have their little revenge 2-0 win. We won the trophy against them anyway. You boys take it away.
I feel like, this could be the start of a collapse for Man United. I don't want to say it, but I feel like Man United in the past couple games, I don't know, they've shown what Arsenal shown in this period of the season historically. Their heads drop, one bad result and then heads collapse. I felt like watching Man United today, there was no cohesion. I didn't know what they were trying to do or what they were doing. Rashford was quiet all game. I feel like, I said it as a joke, but I do think it's kind of a serious point as well. Every time Rashford goes on these holidays to America specifically and comes back, his form takes a different turn. I don't know.
We need to fact check that, by the way. I don't know how true that is.
I don't want to. Obviously, I don't know how true it is, but he might have been linking up with Lingard and Sancho and all these guys, and then coming back, and his form dips into different directions. But no, look, on a more serious level, like he was quiet all game, didn't really do much. Bruno, I don't know what he does for the team. I don't know, is he a cam? Is he an 8? I don't even really know what he does.
No, he's a cam, but because we don't have enough strength in depth, he has to drop deeper and play the pivot. Because you're going to play Fred and McTominay together again?
Look, McFred and Sabitzer, they didn't really do anything, so I kind of get that. But I feel like obviously Casemiro's not around at the moment. Even if they had Casemiro today, he still would have lost. I feel Newcastle.
No, I'm not sure about that.
I'm sure about that. I'm very sure about
that. What do you think you're sure about? Our win record with Casemiro is 73% win percentage.
But the way you guys turned up, like especially
that's
going forward,
Casemiro's not there.
I don't believe that. I feel
it's a big miss.
Look, it's a big miss, yeah. But I feel Newcastle would have beaten Man United the same as they did.
The 2 times we played Newcastle this season with Casemiro, we've drawn against them 0-0 at Old Trafford, which we should have won. We had more chances than them. And then obviously the League Cup final, we beat them 2-0.
The League Cup final
was pretty comfortable.
I wouldn't say it was comfortable.
30 minutes,
I think Newcastle large parts played better than United.
The first 30 minutes.
I thought, what I watched, I thought large parts, Newcastle were better. But United obviously took the chance and won, so that's a different point. But I said on the group chat a couple months ago, saying Newcastle, I'd say at present, are a better team than Man United. I still back that. I think the stats back it. The goal difference, Newcastle's is significantly higher. People say Newcastle are defensive. They've got a lot of clean sheets. That's why they're good. But that's still a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. They've only lost 3 games this season. Same as Arsenal.
Their goal difference is what? Plus 27, 28?
Theirs is 21, ours is 5.
Okay, so that's still good. Yeah. So,
it's still a massive difference.
Yeah, so I genuinely believe, and it's not a joke, that I do think Newcastle are currently better than Man United, and that's reflective on this performance.
All right, but we've won a trophy, and we're also in the quarterfinal of Europa League, and we're also in the semi-final of FA Cup. Newcastle aren't in that. They're just battling in one competition, and they're going for top 4. How are they better than United?
Yeah, well, you're talking about 2 different profile
They're level
teams.
on points.
Yeah, but if you ask a Newcastle fan, what's your expectations this season? Let's just try and finish top half.
Probably top 8 there.
Yeah, exactly. But Man United is a different story. What's your expectation of a new manager? Let's try and get a trophy. It's always. But I'm talking like with every competition. It's always Man United. let's try and get a trophy at least. You've got that, and you can get 2 more trophies depending on how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this performance was a concern for Man United. I don't think it will reflect well in the next couple games. I feel like it could be a start of.
Before I go into Mark, our next couple fixtures, we got Brentford at Old Trafford next, and obviously Brentford's tough.
Brentford are good.
That's a
very
tough
good,
game.
Tough game. And then we got Everton at Old Trafford after that, which I'm not too worried about.
Tough game again.
But Old Trafford,
that's a tough game.
Old Trafford, come on, today.
Against Sean Dyche's Everton.
I'd expect you to win.
Come on, bro, Everton.
Against Sean Dyche's Everton.
Yeah, but Old Trafford, though.
I don't know.
We haven't lost at Old Trafford this season since September, and that was against Real Sociedad.
I don't know. I'm just not sure
Brentford,
about that.
Fair
game.
enough, but Everton, come on. Hey, Mark, tell this guy. After Everton, we've got forget Sevilla.
Defend United too much.
Forget Sevilla for now. That's Europa League. But then we've got Nottingham Forest, and we've also got Tottenham. We've got so many games. In April, we've got Brentford, Everton, Forest away, Tottenham away, and Villa Old Trafford. So a few tough games. Villa ain't even that bad either. Tottenham, not that bad either. So it's a tough April, to be honest. Mark, what do you think about the game today and United as a whole for the rest of the season?
Men versus boys. From what we saw, Newcastle dominant, out of possession. It looked at times as if they were actually bullying the United players. Didn't see much effort or energy from United players. Obviously, it's a difficult place to go to St James Park when Newcastle on the up, and the atmosphere was obviously incredible. You could hear it through the speakers, but you need to see more from United. And I talk about Newcastle bullying United, but actually in terms of playing with the ball, Newcastle at times, just cut through United.
Yeah, they definitely played better than us as well.
Created
on the ball.
multiple chances. Another day could have actually won 3 or 4-0. Let's be honest.
Definitely,
There was
I agree.
A crossbar, a post.
Yeah.
De Gea save.
A few crazy saves. Yeah.
I think Newcastle looked incredibly impressive.
And I don't remember seeing one Man United chance, to be honest.
I
don't remember Pope. I don't remember Pope making a save.
That Weghorst side netting for your best chance.
Oh mate. Yeah, man, it's looking tough. But so in terms of United, do you think we're obviously level on points now on the table with Newcastle, joint third, both United and Newcastle? We've both played a game less than Spurs, who are 1 point behind both United and Newcastle. Brighton are now 7 points behind United and Newcastle, but they've got a game in hand. But what are both you saying in terms of top 4 for United? Do you think should be locked in, right? Should be. Spurs are obviously inconsistent. Liverpool are...
How many points are Brighton behind?
Liverpool 8 points behind. Brighton are 7 points behind, but they've got a game in hand.
So it could be 4. I would say...
We've still got to play Brighton.
I'll say it's between Newcastle United and obviously Spurs are in there as well.
So I'd like to think we're...
I think it's a battle. I think it's a battle between those 3 teams, but it's
and
tight.
We are playing in multiple competitions as well. We're probably going to play more games.
Which could be a big thing.
Yeah,
I mean, rest players in the Premier League
soon,
later on to rest players for the cup competitions.
It's just...
I think we're pretty comfortable. We should get top 4. We've got enough in us to get top 4, even when we're not playing great.
Well, with your record at home, based on what you've said as well. I mean, that away performance there was
shocking.
And one thing they showed us now, away from home against a top 9, wherever this 9's come from, that means whoever's 10th, we beat away. Villa. We lost to them away, actually. So they should have put top 10. But all right, our record against the top 10 away from home this season has been poor. I think we've lost every game, they said.
Yeah.
We lost every game.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to be concerned about. If we were to look at who else we're playing away from home now, in the top 10, not Forest, Spurs. So we still got to play Spurs away, which now I'm slightly worried about, looking at our record away from home.
Yeah.
And in May, we've got Brighton away, which is going to be tough. So they're the only 2, to be fair, away from home. So I guess that's why I think we should be comfortable. The rest of the games, we should be able to pick up enough points to get top 4 at least. And I guess maybe Newcastle look like a major threat. I've said it already, for the future to come still, even next season and the seasons to come. The amount of improvement they've done from last season and the season before to where they are now. And they haven't even made that many big signings. They've bought, Isaac and Bruno are like the star signings. Other than that, being fairly conservative. Dan Burn, great signing, but not really big names. and the coaching that Eddie Howe's done to take them to where they are now is massive. And I'm genuinely, I don't know, for United with new owners, I'm not too concerned about Newcastle. I feel like we'll spend enough, we've got enough revenue to keep us near the top. But maybe, I'm not taking a piss, but Liverpool or maybe even Arsenal, I know you're about to win the title, potentially about to win the title now, but Newcastle are a big threat to you lot with the amount that they're going to spend, the way that their trajectory is going. I don't know about, what do you feel worried about Newcastle as a Liverpool fan?
With our current form, with our current form. But I'm hoping when this season comes to an end, we'll recuperate, we'll go again, and hopefully sign a couple of players, and our players will get the rest that they need. And next year we'll see a different Liverpool football team. But that's all yet to be seen. At the moment, I would say, Newcastle from that performance there are heads and shoulders above
a lot of teams. Tunjay, are you worried about the long-term threat of Newcastle?
Yeah, they're going to be dominant, aren't they? They're going to spend. But
genuinely, I don't know. It's still concerning times, man. Newcastle needs to put you back in your place. I miss the days when you lot were in relegation battles, man. Right, talk about Liverpool, Arsenal, since we got both the Liverpool and the Arsenal fans here. Next Saturday, I believe. And it's at Anfield. Obviously, maybe, I know we've said it a lot. We've said it a lot about Arsenal. Your biggest test. And I guess this is the latest biggest test. You've passed every other test except the City one where you lost to City.
We lost at Emirates. Home. Emirates,
That was your actual biggest test. You lost to them, unfortunately. But your next game is against Liverpool at Anfield. What are you saying, Tunjay? Confident?
Not really, because it's a tough game. But what I would say is what has given me confidence that we might possibly do well and get a result is that every game we have played away from home, whether it's Spurs away, Chelsea away, United away, even though we lost that, we've played well, significantly well in those games. Even the other games like Brentford, your Brightons, your Crystal Palaces, like even every away test that we've had, we've overcome.
Come through, man. Literally every test you've had, you've come
through.
So unless you want to talk about Europa League, but I'll allow you, Tunjay. I'll allow you.
Right. But the Liverpool game, yes, different game.
I've got your record here, Anfield. Your last game you drew 0-0. The game before that you lost 4-0. The game before that was 0-0 in the cup. The game before that you lost 3-1. The game before that was 5-5. Was a cup game, I think.
Yeah.
The game before that is 3-1. You lost. The game before that you lost 5-1. Wow, your record's bad at Anfield, isn't it?
Yeah,
but obviously it's a different Arsenal now, different Liverpool now. It's not the Liverpool of the last few years. Mark, thoughts on the game? Liverpool
I think we'll win. I think we'll win. It's just a typical Liverpool thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be poor to the lower clubs that we should beat on paper.
Let's give some respect. Bournemouth 1-0. Let's name them, the lower teams, Just want to get that out there, Sorry, I interrupted. My bad.
We'll pretend that didn't happen. I think we'll beat Arsenal. I think it will obviously be a tough game. But Liverpool at Anfield against the bigger football clubs tend to show up and deliver.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. But what will be really interesting to see, I want Arsenal to win the league, to be honest.
Yeah, fair.
And it'll be interesting to see that if this game doesn't go Arsenal's way, how they respond and react to that. Because they've got to play City as well, haven't they?
Yeah, you've still got to play City.
They've got Newcastle away.
25th
They've got
April,
to play City, they've got to play Newcastle. Games are coming thick and fast. Yeah. There's not many games to be had. So it could be an exciting...
Fergie always said the title race counts in April, and it's your toughest month now.
Yeah.
You got City later, you got Liverpool, and you're playing Chelsea at the Bridge as well, I think.
No, at home. We've got Chelsea at home,
as well. Just out of interest, Mark, you said about losing to teams, the shit teams, beating the good teams. After the Arsenal game, you've actually got Leeds away, Ellen Road. I might... If I was a gambling man...
That could be a tricky one.
If I was a gambling man, I'd put money on Leeds right now.
Leeds 1-0.
Can't wait for that. Just quick score predictions then, just for fun of it. I'm going to give my score prediction first for Liverpool and Arsenal game. I don't feel that confident in Liverpool, I'm going to be honest. But also, because of the record, previous history, I'm going to say 1-1. I've been too safe today, though.
I'm going big for this one. I'm going Liverpool 3-2.
Yeah. I love it. Liverpool 3-2 against Arsenal next Sunday, 4:30. Tunjay, what do you think the score's going to be? I'm going to clip that one up later.
I'm going for Arsenal 2-1. I've got back Arsenal.
I like it. I like the confidence, Tunjay. Boys, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure having you on. Tunjay, this is your what? This is Tunjay's 13th. It's going to be your 13th. Tunjay's 13th appearance. He's made the most appearance in the shortest amount of time. Mark, sorry, Tunjay, shake my hand because I don't want to make you feel left out. Mark, pleasure to have you on the channel.
Thanks for having me.
First Liverpool fan on the channel. Hopefully not the last.
I'll be back.
Great appearance from my ex-skipper. Mark, anything to say?
Thanks for having me. It's been emotional.
Pleasure to have you both you guys on. Man United have lost today, unfortunately. You know me, I'm still going to be gassed either way. Quarterfinals to come, semi-finals to come. We're on our way to Wembley. This is a Between the Lines podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video right now. If you don't like it, get out of it. I never want to see you again. This is Between the Lines podcast. See you on the next one. I'm your host, Adnan. Peace out.
Between the lines.